All right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good day, good afternoon. Meine Damen und Herren, and all the people of the class. Today we're going to talk about the shrinking world. What do we mean when we say the world is shrinking? Is the earth literally shrinking? Are we eventually going to fall off? No, not really. Think about this. Think about the fact that mail that used to take 2 weeks across the globe now can be done in 30 seconds via email and text. Think about the fact that no matter what you want in this world, it can be got almost instantaneously. Things that used to take months to cross an ocean now can be done sometimes overnight. When we're talking about this, we're talking about the fact the world is shrinking. Travel times are shrinking. Information is almost instantaneous. Ladies and gentlemen, we are literally talking about globalization, the shrinking world. Target students will understand the world globalization and about the shrinking world. This class is not being recorded because, hey, you're watching a recording. Globalization refers to the integrations of goods, services, and cultures among the nations of the world. We have been experiencing globalization since the days of European colonization, roughly about the 1640s, when Europe started taking over and exploring the world. Advances in telecommunication, transportation technologies have accelerated globalization. And the fact the internet has made all nations neighbors. Okay, skip that. I should have taken that out. First off, let's talk. The world is broken up into two types of countries, two types of worlds. I guess we can say that. First, the developed nations. These are the nations with strong economies, high technology base, strong industry base. These are the countries that are the movers and shakers of the world. All right. And yes, if you want to know the truth, the United States is in the top 20 of these. We're number 17. It's kind of funny we're outranked by nations we rebuilt after the Second World War. Now let's talk about the other end of the scale. Well, first off, I want to ask you, which continent do you think has the 5 countries on the bottom of this chart? Africa, Asia, South America, Australia. This is literally a question from 5.01 quiz. What continent, do you think has the 5 countries on the bottom? Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's Africa. Actually, Africa has 9 of the nations on the bottom of this list. That's because it was a colonial possession for so long that some of these nations are just really starting to get better. But what are we talking about with a developing country? Okay, developing country is a sovereign state. It means it's an independent country with authority over itself, with less developed industry and lower human development. Aren't as many educated people, aren't as many industries, aren't as strong technological wise. The term low and middle income countries. These are the developing nations of the world. Okay, folks, as I said, we're talking about 3 periods of globalization. The first period of globalization from the 1490s until about 1800. This is when Europe is going out, sailing out over the world, taking colonies. Now, when they do this, they're taking products to the New World and they're bringing products back from the New World. Think about foods you like, folks. Think about potatoes, vegetables, dyes, inks. They all didn't originate in Europe. Potatoes came from South America. Bananas came from South America and Asia. These got to Europe for the simple fact, ladies and gentlemen, that Europe went out, brought their goods, traded for others. Think about it this way, folks. How many of you have a cup of ramen in your cupboard? Ramen is from Asia. Noodles are from Asia. The first period of globalization was slow, was long, was painful. Took place with horsepower, sail power, and steam power. But it shrank the world. It took the world from being extra large, large, to a medium. Okay, from 1800 until 2000, interrupted only by 2 world wars, the dynamic force driving change was multinational companies. Think about this. What products, ladies and gentlemen, can you get in the United States? Can you get in Australia? Can you get in China, Germany? If you're thinking about pulling out of Coca-Cola, that's one of them. You want to have a McDonald's hamburger? You can have that in any nation on earth. If you want to go to Beijing and have a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken, you can. And this is the fact that most of these nations have spread product and influence around the world. Hershey bars, coffee. I mean, let's face fact, most of Europe until the First World War drank tea. Yanks came over with their pots of coffee, and very soon Europe was hooked. And this shrank the world some more. We went from a medium size to a small size. And the current era, the convergence of the personal computer, fiber optic internet connections, and software has created a flat world platform. The platform allows small groups and individuals to go global. Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. We are now at a point where I can get online and talk to somebody from Australia, talk to somebody from Asia, talk to somebody from Hong Kong, Taiwan, where Mr. J was born, which you should know. I can get online and talk to somebody in Germany. This shrunk the world from small to tiny. Now, the Earth is still 26,000 miles around at the equator. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, information, goods, services, human connection is almost instantaneous. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to, you can go online, get on Netflix, and watch a current run movie. Did you think you could have done that before? Oops, sorry, I went too far. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I know we're going quick. Let's slow things down just a little bit, and I want you to think. You're all sitting there by yourselves. You're not in my classroom, but do the developed countries of the world have the responsibility to help the developing countries of the world? I'm not going to ask you to quiz. I'm not going to come back from testing and say, what do you think? What we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is figure this out. Do the developing countries of the world have the responsibility to help the developing countries? Do the developed countries of the world have the responsibility to help the developing countries of the world? Do they have the responsibility to offer guidance, technology, education, and support? All right, ladies and gentlemen, if your answer is yes, how do we help? How do we help the developing countries of the world? Is it time to have a one world government? Think about it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and as we're coming to the end of my very short video, let's talk about this. Now, this one I'd like you to think about. We've covered a lot. We've covered it quickly. But what did you learn about globalization today? What do you think is important to know? Think about this. Unit 5 is dependent on our study of globalization. Thank you, folks. Have a nice day, and you can watch this as often as you want. I'm going to put the link in class announcements. You have a great and wonderful day. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you all very, very soon. Goodbye.